Hello, everyone. Welcome to the January 22nd edition of the Kubernetes Contributor Summit Planning Meeting, which will take place at KCSEU in Paris. Just a reminder that this meeting abides by the Kubernetes Code of Conduct, which if you have not taken the time to read, I encourage everyone to go and do so. With that, kick things off. Lead update. I don't think I have anything specific other than selecting the logo for the attendee swag, which I know is on the agenda for today. So I'm not gonna hammer on that at all because I know we will talk about it. Arnaud, I see you've got something noted here.
Yes, I sent a doodle about having a times-friendly meeting for people in Europe and India and Asia in general. So I need someone to basically send the invite on the Google Calendar. Maybe Kathleen, please, or someone else. Yeah, I will give the detail is in for the an hour. I don't have control of the Google Calendar, so I need someone. I don't know if you need to set up a new Zoom meeting for this, so and I don't have control of those things. And
Sorry, did you call
that's
on me?
off.
I was paying attention to something else.
Yeah, I need help to send the invite and add that to the Kate calendar. Okay,
Will
thank you.
do. What's the
Okay.
time?
I need to check the votes. I need to, I will ping you on Slack.
Perfect. Thanks.
Sweet. I think with that, we can pass to Brienne and Janelle. Looks like y'all have a lot to talk about.
So it's just me today. The rest of the CNCF team and LF team are all in San Diego this week for the all hands. So just me. So registration is able to be live and launched today once all final comments or edits are into the doc. I saw Arnaud, you made a few more. I think there was a couple others in there. So I have let our registration team know to check the doc, make any small edits, and then we are good to launch. So I will share that information as soon as it is officially live. Let's see. If everyone could go in and make any space or AV needs or requirements or requests to the planning doc, it's under the agenda tab. As soon as possible, that would be great so that I can go ahead and get those orders and requests placed with the venue. So anything as far as, if we need a projector or if we need mics or, how many we want it set for, rounds, board meeting, whatever. So if you could just go ahead and fill that in the planning doc, that will help me out and I can get that all situated. Same thing for the SIG buttons tab of the planning doc. If I could get that information added and updated, I would like to place that order by the end of next week for any additional SIG buttons or table signs or anything that we need. That way I can make sure we get those sent and have them on site on time for the event. Just to reiterate, I know we're discussing it later on in the meeting. Cutoff date for attendees is January 29th, so that's next week to make sure we have those in time. And then I am working on finalizing options for the celebration this week. It has been quite the task. There are not many options within a 15-minute walk of the venue. So it's not been easy to find, but I do have some that look like they would be really good options for us. So I'm putting together a little presentation proposal doc, and I will send that out around to the team this week so we can kind of review and take a vote on which one we like. And last but not least, Sketch. So far, we only have 2 people that have been added as admins to Sketch. If that's it, that's perfect. If there are anybody else that should be added, please just let me know their email address so I can go ahead and add them as an admin to Sketch, and they can go in and make any edits or changes as needed. And from me.
Sounds good. I see Josh just dropped a question in the chat, and I think that is an important one that I want to make sure that we catch. Yeah, about options for requesting accommodations on registration for deafblind folks. Do
Yes,
we?
we do have, it's the same as for our overall KubeCon registration. It asks
Okay.
if there are any disabilities or needs for special accommodation.
Okay.
We are actually being more cautious about that for this event in particular and any upcoming events. When somebody registers for the larger KubeCon event, there is an option for them to say whether they need a translator or if they need a guide or assistance or whatever on site. And if they enter that information, then we will provide that for them for the duration of the event. So there are plenty of options for them to add that information in there.
Awesome, thank you, and thank you, Josh, for asking. With that, I think we can move on to content, which it looks like Sriram has an update for today.
Hey folks, our status is green, but we only have 4 CFPs as of now. And we wanted to know if the shadows, like me and Nitish, like we should ping and reach out to everyone in the respective Slack channels for the other 6, and like make sure that people are reminded of the deadline, which is 4th February. So we have like 2 more weeks. And
I think
yeah, we also
go ahead and like send out, any Slack notifications you'd like to, you absolutely feel free to do that. I would expect that we will see an uptick in submissions after notifications go out, whether talks were accepted or not.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of folks are probably waiting on that.
Yeah, from last week's meeting, we talked about how tomorrow we're sending another email that specifically will be saying, hey, reminder not only is Reg open, but CFPs, because the information of whether your KubeCon talk got accepted or not goes out today. So we expect a lot of people to submit maybe failed talks. Not that they failed, that's the wrong word to use, but not successful for KubeCon talks. Probably submit them for the contributor summit instead. So if you want to wait until tomorrow morning EU time, which would be, I think, afternoon for yourself, Sriram, then that would be good, because we'll send the email then.
Yeah, have we used the Slack bot yet to announce the CFP?
Not the Slack bot. I've made my own announcement in the Contrib Summit main channel and linked to it in a few of the SIGs that I was in.
Okay. I might suggest that for this week's announcement, it would actually be appropriate to use the Slack bot, particularly because one of the things that's included in pre-planned sessions is, for example, SIG meetings.
Who would I need to coordinate with to use that?
Whoever's currently head of ContribEx comms. So like I said, Caslin, Chris.
Cool.
I don't know if they have any other co-chairs. Those are the people who have permission to post to it.
I think we fixed that.
Oh yeah.
We'll look into it. It
Okay.
was broken for a long time,
Okay.
but we'll have to check it on that.
But I think the important thing is definitely like getting the message out on Slack as well too. So Kazan, if it is broken and you know that already, let's just manually do messaging while fixing goes on in parallel, let's say.
Sounds good.
I'll
Natalie,
start
you
a-
can just keep going.
I'll start a thread in the comms chat on that.
Yeah, comms update is that the next email is generally ready. I've already linked to it in our Summit staff channel for review, and some reviews have already come in, which is great. And as mentioned, once registration is live, which I assume by my time in EU tomorrow morning, that'll be the case, then we can send out the next email with the right links, and we'll add those to the specific email itself. And then for CFP folks, we're mentioning that the CFPs are open too. So that's in there. One thing I wanted to mention, Mario, you've added in a call out for volunteers in the email too. And while I think that's okay, I'm wondering if you in terms of traction on getting any volunteers signing up already this early, we can absolutely do a separate volunteer only email as well in like, let's say a week or two once the CFPs are up and registrations are up, because the registration is only just opening. That's my only concern with the volunteer call out.
Yeah, we can also move it. It was just an idea.
Okay, cool. I'm like I said, I think doing like a specific email for a volunteer only call out is still super worthwhile. And we can do that, let's say, in another week or two for sure. Great. Other than that, we'll do like Slack and tweets and so on. Yeah, I think that's it for comms.
Awesome. And then let's do celebration, Kaylin.
Yeah, no changes since last week. I feel good about the activity choices. I just need to do the thing. It's been a bit hectic here because I'm building a house and I like to go look at it on the weekends. But this weekend I'm going to do something, and on Monday I will come with some kind of actual update about things purchased. I know that when we did trivia a while back, I think there was maybe like a GitHub issue or something to gather like community recommendations. I just wanted to know how that went and if that was a recommendation or if I should just source ideas from the people in this group, like if there are any recommendations for getting good questions, because definitely I can make up a bunch of questions, but I want some high quality questions.
So when I did the trivia, I didn't get anything sourced from the GitHub issue. It didn't work. I ended up sourcing from folks in the community just in one-on-one chats. I think Lockie gave me a couple questions. I got some from Josh. Just kind of pinging people that have been around for a while and asking. I did some around the themes for previous releases, that sort of thing. I think you're certainly welcome to try again on the issue thing. It didn't work when I tried it. And that could have been my own failure to like send out communications about the issue, but I didn't end up getting much from that.
Maybe what I'll do is make a doc and then share it here and also share it amongst the kind of people that probably have really good question ideas. And then we can do a little bit of sorry, my doc is pumped. A little bit of a like informal vote. You guys can let me know like which questions are good and we'll put those together.
Sounds
And that's all for me.
Cool, thank you. And Sriram, I do see you've got a question here. I think since we're moving to Day of Ops right now, that now might be a good time to include that because it's probably related. Do you wanna go ahead?
Yeah. So the layout planning is supposed to come under the responsibility of the content team, as I understand. And yeah, we wanted to discuss how we should go about that.
In the past, we've just taken the end of this meeting once everyone's done updates and opened up the layout together and talked through like, okay, we usually have a couple roundtable rooms, a couple presentation rooms. So we could probably do that today if not everyone has to stick around, but there are some old hands at it that are nice to have when you're making those decisions, I found anyway.
Yeah, I have until 10 Pacific, so probably have some extra time. Yeah, anyone else that would like to participate too?
Awesome. Yep. Thanks.
Yeah, Mario, go ahead.
Yeah, from my side, not much updates. As we just discussed, call for volunteers. I will coordinate with Natalie to send something out. But so far, it's looking good, and yeah, no further updates.
It's good. Ray, registration.
Yep. So the reg team tested both the staff and the general attendee registration pages. There are 2 edits requested, and we added them to the Google Doc. And so after that, besides those 2 edits, everything looks good on the registration page. I also did test out both staff and general attendee just to make sure that there is a question if there's any special requests that anyone might need in terms of AV or any other assistance. There's a question for both on both sides.
Awesome, thank you. Caslin, Mortal Kombat.
Sorry, hard to unmute sometimes. It locks my computer. Before I go though, Sriram had mentioned a question in the chat, so I wanted you to be able to voice that
Yes,
aloud.
we circled back on that
Okay,
right
good.
before
Sorry.
ops, and we'll spend some time at the end of the meeting on that too.
Cool. Sorry.
Oh, no
I was
worries.
distracted by things. All right, so I put a comment into the issue to make sure that Rohit and Princess, my two shadows, are reflected in the issue. I haven't checked back to see if that was addressed, but just so you know. I checked over the lead handbook and I think we're green for now. Brienne has already got a space for us and it sounds like she's familiar with our requirements. So I think that's good to go, but I'll check with Laura to see if there's anything about the space setup that I need to double check on. We do need to start getting the SIGs signed up soonish. I also promised my shadows a task list, which I'm hoping to get done imminently, which will basically be a list of which SIGs we need to pester to make sure that they have representatives there. In the rough timeline of stuff, if there's more stuff. Also, this idea keeps floating around in my head, so I figured I'd mention it. I'm kind of tempted to change the name again to Kubernetes meet and greet. So it used to be SIG meet and greet, and the issue was that nobody knows what a SIG is. So we considered this name as well when we changed it last time, I think, or something similar to this. But we decided to go with the other one. I don't know if this one keeps floating around in my head. I don't know if we'd even be able to change the name at this point. Any thoughts? Do we
I
feel
don't see
strongly
why
about
not.
keeping it?
Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, the sketch hasn't gone live yet, and as far as I
That's
know,
true.
it's just a quick edit in there. So
Need to
yeah,
know
you
as
should
soon as
you should
possible.
feel empowered as the lead to do as you see fit.
Brienne,
Yeah,
did
if
you
you
have a
could just let me know as soon as possible, just for the signage perspective on site.
Hmm.
We do have to place our signage order for the entire KubeCon. I want to say the deadline is January 31st. So if I could know sooner rather than later, just so I know what to put on our signage, that'd be perfect.
So if there are no arguments against it, then I think let's go on ahead with Kubernetes meet and greet. And Brienne, would you also handle making sure it's reflected correctly on the schedule?
Sorry, now I'm on mute. Yeah, I will definitely share that with the larger team and make sure they make those edits.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Cool. Arnaud, do you want to talk about swag?
Yes, there is a thread where I was like talking about picking colors and how we want to do the beret. We need to get some kind of consensus around that. I don't see anyone having an opinion about this, so at some point we need to make a call about this. So yeah, I would like to basically have this done by in 2 weeks so we can put an order and get those beret before at the indicated date.
I know I wanted to say I'm like open to you just making the decision.
Okay.
And going and you like personally.
Okay.
I have a question on that. Are we gonna like embroider the berets, or are they just gonna be berets and we're gonna put a pin on them, or just berets?
I need to talk to the vendor and basically ask them basically what's going to look like. It's possible, but I need confirmation from the vendor and say, oh yeah, we want to do this because we pick one unique color and we embroider the name. Should be okay.
Cool. I'm fine with just a plain beret, but also if we're gonna do embroidery, I would love to just have the Kubernetes wheel on the top of it. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
That's a cute idea.
I will ask. Yeah, I will ask.
Yeah, somebody had an idea that I'm sure is completely out of budget, but it was to have an actual cockade on the beret with the Kubernetes wheel on it.
Oh, that's definitely out of budget.
Yeah.
I know pins are
Mm.
expensive to do like small orders of, but I thought that CNCF already had like Kubernetes logo enamel pins. At least I have a couple at home that I've gotten from KubeCon that I thought are on the CNCF store, which if they are, have like $1 million in credit from Ambassador. So like I can just buy a bunch of them. And I'm sure there are other ambassadors on this call that have like hundreds of dollars of store credit. So I can look at that.
I also put one other item here, if I should talk about that now. Myself and Tim Hawken and Josh Burkus have been discussing on Slack a 10th anniversary design for like the back of the shirt, like based on like a band shirt kind of design. There's some details about what we're thinking in CrafterNetties, but we don't have that drafted up quite yet. We can probably get it done in the next day or two. So we won't be able to vote on that part today, but if there's budget to do it, that's something that we're looking into.
We are on a very tight budget this year,
Yeah.
as a whole for KCS and KubeCon. So I don't know that it would be within budget for this particular event, but not to say that it wouldn't be for the fall.
And if we can't do it on the shirt, one other idea that we had discussed was maybe like a sticker sheet of past contributor summit designs or something like that. Which maybe I could get Google to sponsor or something. I don't know, but we'll look into what we can do.
Yeah, depending on the overage in terms of what a printing on the back would mean, just let me know too, because might be able to help fund that.
We'll try to get you all a proposed design in the next day or two. We also want to coordinate it with the shirt colors so that it's fewer colors probably for budget. So it might depend on which design we pick today or over the next few days.
Yeah, once I get the actual designs, then I can send that over to Pinnacle and they'll do like the final pricing based on the designs.
We want to talk about design voting now?
Sure.
In the page below these notes, there is a table of the possible designs that I've seen come through. There's one more down below. I tried to fit them all on the same page and it didn't work. I could probably adjust the margins to get them all there. But those are the design options. I'm not sure how we want to go about voting. If we want to just do rough consensus in this call, if we want to give folks a day or two to vote on Slack or in this.
So it looks like Tim never got his design together, did he?
No, I was saying that we can probably get that together today or tomorrow. So we can't vote on the back design today. But we can just propose something.
Tim was changing up the design in the bottom right corner to be more attractive.
Gotcha.
But apparently did not actually get around to finishing it.
Cool. Do note that these can also all be polished up. So if there's something that you really like the idea of, but you wish it was more polished, then we can work with that.
Yeah, the ones I did were about 1 minute in Procreate, so there's a lot of room for improvement.
I can also create a Google form today to like let people actually vote if we want to do that. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. So yeah, and then one of the other things is we're gonna have to go through these because we really can't have anything that has more than 5 colors in it. And well, some of these designs that do have multiple colors could easily be adapted, others could not. Anyway, we'll hash it out.
That was one of the questions I had, is what is the...
Yeah, we dealt with this for the Amsterdam shirt. I had to reduce the Starry Night design down to 5 colors in order to get it printed. And I think that's actually sort of a good working rule.
Arno has a hand up.
Yeah, so I think the deadline is 29. So we need to figure out all of this by Thursday.
Okay. That was the other question I had, was when do we need the final vote by?
But I also redirect my question to Brian, like, can we get until Thursday to figure this out?
Yeah, I think as long as I have like a finalized design by the end of this week, that's perfect for me.
Okay.
We could do like a ranked choice thing on the form. I think that'd be cool, but we'll see what we can do with the form, I guess.
Can we open up an elective for?
I mean, we could, but oh my God.
Absolutely not. No, I feel like I feel very strongly that this is like this planning team just decides kind of thing, and then we go for it. We have such tight deadlines to meet.
Well, they said by Thursday. So we could take the time to vote, or we can try to get a rough consensus in here.
Well, I don't mind taking votes. As let's set up something that has people rank everything, because then we can get an idea which are the favorites, and then narrow it down to which one is actually printable.
Yeah.
I'll do a Google form today. I will get it done this morning and send it out. And I think we would have a hard time reaching consensus in this call because there's a lot of options. So I will have a Google form done this morning. We will send it out. We will get some votes. If it comes down to a couple top options, Arno and I will make the decision based on printability. Does that sound good for everybody? Cool. I think, yeah, so with that, that was the last thing we had on the agenda. We can loop back to what Sriram asked about and talk layout. Is that
There's a couple things under anything
there?
else though.
Oh, anything? Yep. Okay, good. Thank you, Noah.
And I want to talk about the first one that Arno had put in here, discussing having a room as the hallway track room. Historically, we have had the meals room be meals/hangouts, and I just realized that it is in fact meals/workshops, which is a little odd. Is that a typo, or did we actually plan it that way?
No, that is how we are laid out this time. So the building that we are using for KubeCon is significantly smaller than other venues that we've been at. It is laid out in a very different footprint. I think when you get there on site, you'll find that it's much easier to navigate, which is very nice. Everything is very close together. It's literally a square. It's straight up and down. You can't really get lost. But because of that, we have very limited rooms. And since we are on co-located day and setup day for like our showcase and keynotes and stuff, we just don't have the same amount of space as we normally do. So we have to kind of join forces with some of our rooms and double up what they are being used for this time. So yeah, unfortunately, it is not going to be set aside necessarily as a hangout space. It is going to be doubled up as multiple functions this time.
Okay. So the side effect of that is we're going to have to be very careful on planning workshops and things that go into that room, because we can't have people in the middle of a session while they're also trying to like set up lunch.
Yeah. Now we do have, so where the rooms are located, we are all in one general hallway, and we have that hallway section all to ourselves. So I could see if the venue would allow us to put, some round cocktail table type things along the hallway, so that, if people want to kind of mingle and have little discussions, in that hallway area, or if I think there's a foyer space even maybe we could set something up in that space so that it at least would allow people to kind of have a little space to mingle and, get together.
I do really like the idea of like the small tables. It's like just seeing them, people will congregate and like have those small discussions. I think that's great.
Yeah, let me touch base with the venue and make sure they wouldn't have any issues with that. I think we are doing that for KubeCon and other locations, so I don't see why they'd have a problem, but let me verify with them. They have some weird fire restrictions and stuff like that, so let me just check with them before I promise anything.
Okay, so my next question is, I feel like it's a little early to talk about this, but we should have a way to communicate during the event, live communication, because Slack doesn't scale. Honestly, so I feel like at least a group of people with leads, now it's up to leads to establish how they want to communicate with the shadow and volunteer, but at least for the leads, we need to have a way to fastly communicate. I like Signal, happy to use Telegram. I'm strongly opinion about WhatsApp. So yeah, those are my options.
Signals
We don't have-
work well. My
Yeah.
team uses Signal at KubeCon, my like work team, because a lot of us don't have Teams on our phone. So like we typically use Signal.
So we don't have to vote that right away, but I will come back to this maybe next month. So just want to put that out, like think about that.
I saw your information there, your comment in there, Puya, about it being good for ops coordination. Well, I agree. I just want to caution that only on Signal for ops, it means that you're not watching the Contributor Summit Slack channel as well for like the actual people at Contrib Summit that aren't in the team if they need to like ask us questions. So I just want to caution on not having all ops in Signal, just because we do need to look at Slack on the day.
Right. Good point, actually, because I usually forget about like monitoring Slack.
And I think actually that could be something that,
Maybe it could be a
as an
role,
idea
right?
as an idea for Ops Mario, if you want to think about this, to assign someone that isn't on any ops shifts to look at Slack for the day and like answer questions. That could also be something, because we definitely get questions in there on the day from people for sure.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. Shall we chat layout now?
Everybody's so excited about it.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, so this is my first time in the like contributor submit staff team, as well as like the contributor summit itself. So I'm kind of like confused. Maybe if I can, Nitish can help me out here.
Is there
think
now
if
a
someone-
decision?
Sorry, go ahead,
Is
Brandon.
there now a decision for how many rooms we want to record? I mean, there was the question of we want to record all the rooms, but I mean, this heavily depends on sponsoring, I guess.
Can we get the planning doc with the rooms up on the screen?
Yeah, I was looking for the link.
It's in the chat. It's in the, I put
Thank
it in
you.
the chat.
I would guess for recording, like you were saying, Mario, we basically want to say record the general session, and if there's budget, we would like to record as many other rooms as we can, because that was feedback that we received. So it's not like we would take recording equipment everywhere, but it's unlikely that that is in budget. So if we can have whatever the two, usually last year we had it split. So it was like two or three rooms that were primarily workshop based, more interactive, and maybe 2 rooms that were presentation based. I would assume the presentation based ones would be the ones we would prioritize recording rather than freeform conversation. But that's kind of for first time content people. That's what we're going through now, is based on what kind of talks we're expecting to run, what sort of setups do we want in these rooms that we have available, noting that we also need a room for the doc sprint, which is set here. And I think Natalie probably has a good idea of what that room should look like.
Yeah, I can quickly chat to that. The doc sprint, it says here, oh, hold on, I've just had something go over the amount of people that can fit in there. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it says here like 35 can fit. Is that what I'm reading in terms of the amount of, oh, that's a 35 square meters, my bad.
Yeah, so it is set up boardroom with AV, you can fit 12, but we don't usually do AV in the doc sprint room. So since we're not going to have AV, I'm guessing it probably could go up to 20 or 25.
Yeah, I would definitely, for docs, I would recommend at least that 20 people could possibly fit, because we have had like a difference in attendance over the years from 10 to 25 or 30 or so on. So I think 20 is a good number. We have used in the past, Brian, a way to be able to put up a presentation or have something up on a shared big screen so that we're all working and looking at like one single source of something. Is something like that possible in this room or no?
I'll check with them. I believe all of their rooms are automatically equipped with like a large like TV monitor that you can connect to. When we did our site visit walkthrough, I'm pretty sure every room that we went into did automatically have that. So we don't need to, when they say like AV, I think they're, talking more bringing in a projector and a large screen and like, what takes up space. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we already do have the monitor mounted on the wall.
Cool. Yeah, a huge projector is definitely not required, but some kind of monitor for us all to look at would be great. And then, like you said, because if it's only going to be that we could fit up to 20, that would be awesome. Just confirming that the doc sprint is currently being organized, so we are likely to have it, but I will double check and confirm with everyone soon. And on that, the doc sprint also usually runs from usually at around 11 a.m. until towards the end of the day. So it won't start directly at 9, as a heads up.
Sounds perfect.
Mario?
Also keep in mind, we basically have a similar situation as NA last year. The docs room as well as the staff office room will be on another floor. So they won't be on the same floor as the contributor summit. So we need to put up again this there was like a display that said like doc sprints is up top. And you can basically have a look on the website to do a virtual tour where you can get at least an image of one of the bureaus. And that's basically it. So I can share the link in the chat.
That would be that signage is going to be really important comparing to I don't know if anybody even found the doc sprint room in Amsterdam.
I mean, no. So to be fair, like to be fair on that, Noah, we actually didn't properly plan one for Amsterdam.
Okay.
So we do a lot in docs on the planning side and like with our own contributors to give them information about the doc sprint as well. Like we do advertise to the general who's going to Contrib Summit, but we actually use more of our own SIG community to do that kind of push and advertising. And that didn't happen in Amsterdam because we didn't properly plan one. But the conference before that, and then the last two, and then like and then in Detroit and Chicago and so on, like those have been planned and attended well.
Excellent.
And
Okay.
it's very easy. Where we're located, it's literally just one escalator up or down. I mean, you really can't get lost. So we will have signage, but it's very easy in person. And I'm not too worried about it.
Is there an option, looking at these rooms, is there an option for just please throw a bunch of extra chairs in here?
Yeah, so if we just fill in like how many people we would like to have the room ideally set for, I can request that we have chairs, you know, even around the perimeter of the room or whatever. I just need to know what ideally we would like to have it set for.
I guess once that planning is done, Natalie, then Doc can come back and say how many people they're expecting. Is that a fair assessment?
I mean, yeah, we usually say to expect like anywhere between 10 and 20 people. In Chicago we had like 9, so that was the amount. So we usually just say 10 as a base because unless we're actively working at the event, usually us in docs in terms of docs leads will also actually attend, and that's already 5 of us. So we usually say from 10 onwards, basically. But yeah, I'm happy to reconfirm when I can on the floor so we know for chairs.
All right. I'm gonna end the recording because I actually have to drop pretty quick here.
I would like to say, looking at the other rooms, because we're also here to talk about the layout. The workshop and the meals room being at rounds is ideal, and the general session being in a classroom is ideal. But the other 2 breakout sessions, we're probably going to want at least one of those rooms to be set in rounds if we're going to probably try and focus something more unconference versus presentation based on what the layout's going to be. Thoughts on that?
I think that makes sense to have one of the other breakouts in rounds. Fits the format better. Does that sound so? +1 from Mario, Kaylin? Yeah.
Okay. It looks like they're about the same size, so I guess it doesn't really matter which one's which. Well, let's look at the map. 08 is towards the end, and unconferences tend to have more lively discussions. So let's make 08 be rounds instead of classroom.
Xander, take the link that I posted in the chat. There's a file called floor plan in it. There you can basically see the rooms.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. I don't have edit on this, but we'll. Yeah, I obviously can't just change that. Yeah, okay, I'll take a note on that. See if we can get that changed to rounds. I think that's a good call. Oh, there it goes. Cool. All right, I'm sorry, I do have to drop. I didn't have until 10 like I thought I did. Y'all are welcome to continue chatting about layouts. But I need to go because work. We make sure that we've got a host set here.
Do we have anything else, or are we just done?
Yeah, I think we're done here for the moment. We can come back to this in the next meeting or do that async. So have a good rest of your day and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.